What up, world? And this is why you have a chance to break them down like he does.
Yeah.
You know, like systematic.
And this is.
And always with good fight, especially on the speed, you're gonna get that. You know what I mean?
BTR Boxing.
And Boxing with Jeff. It's a podcast. What up, world? This is BTR Boxing and Boxing with Jeff. We're gonna welcome y'all to another episode. This is a recap of the fight from last night. As you can see, we're at the stadium, and we want to let you guys know, with our podcast, we're trying to bring you guys the best episodes, the best content that we can bring you guys, so you guys can like and support and subscribe. We would appreciate that, and we do appreciate all the love that we're getting so far. Absolutely. So with that being said, let's get into the episode. Let's discuss the Crumb Motion.
Oh, shout out to the young kid. They added him late, but maybe about 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Nonetheless, I mean, he showed out, looked like a true professional with that veteran. I can't remember who the name of his opponent was.
Yeah.
But took care of him really quick, stayed composed. I like that. He got him right when he opened up. Two nice shots, one to the body, one to the head. Good night, ended the fight. Yeah. Looked very composed for a young kid, so I was very impressed.
Yeah, from what we've seen, it was great. I mean, he had, like I said, the guy on the ropes about to take him out anyway. Yeah. So, the TKO was a great call and a great stoppage. You don't want to keep taking punishment if you don't have to.
Yeah.
So I think that was a great fight. Yeah. The young kid is coming up doing his thing. Yeah. He's going to be a future world champion. Mm-hmm. So, no Mayweather Promotions, that's great. Yeah. And great for Floyd, too. To me, he reminds me of a little Tank. So, shout out to the man Tank for sure. So, it's only one Tank. But, shout out to Crumb Motion and the team. Shout out to the money team.
Yeah, young kid has a young, very bright future. Yeah. You can see it. I mean, that kid looks big for 135. Honestly, he's probably going to be more of a 140, 147 type of guy. But, I mean, he's young. He's looking like a veteran already. So, shout out to Team Mayweather. They're doing a great job.
I love the way he looks in all his fights. Like I said, he goes in there to handle business. He's precise, He's very smart, calculated with his movements, his shots, and everything. Yeah. And he's not scared to hang in there and bang with you. So that's dope to see, from definitely. A young fighter. Because, you know what the name of the game is, hit and not get hit. Yeah. But, I mean, hey, you can go in there and hang and bang with the best of them, do it and take them out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, shout out to the young kid, Crumb Motion.
Yeah, they're doing a great job with him. So shout out to Team Mayweather. They're doing a great job with him as usual.
Yeah. So, let's on to the main card.
Absolutely. That's what we're here for, right?
Yeah. Let's talk about that, Rosario's and Ramos Jr.'s.
Yeah. So, let's start with that one. I mean, first, shout out to both of them. It was a good fight. Yeah. I think what we expected, the young kid being a young kid, volume punching, he brought his youth into the ring. I think Rosario was showing like a true veteran. He was not throwing as much, but he was throwing more power. But at the end, the accumulative punching of the young kid got to him, wore him out, took him out. Shout out to Ramos. Fantastic job.
Hey, Ramos, man, his people's out here supporting. We see that at the weigh-in. Yeah. And, Ramos Jr. went in there and he did what he was supposed to do. He took care of business. Yeah. I thought Rosario was going to pull it off on my end. But, it is what it is. And shout out to him and his team. Congrats on the victory.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not bad when you beat a veteran that people thought you might have lost.
Not at all.
Great job to
Team Ramos. And all they do is just, bring Ramos up higher and higher and higher. So shout out to Ramos and Team Ramos for sure.
Definitely. Fantastic victory. Yeah. And let's go on to the next fight after that. Yeah. Right after that fight, of course, it was one of the fights that everybody was looking forward to. Pitbull versus Fierro. Thoughts?
Pitbull? I thought he was going to get the knockout. I was going for Pitbull. You know what I mean? And I'll still rep with him and ride with him. Team Pitbull, shout out. But he was on there doing his thing, but he was letting that young dude get in there, and he was letting him work him too. So it was kind of sketchy up in there for a while. And, just some of the shots he was taking was scaring me. So I was just like, man, hope he bounces back. But, he held his composure. He did his thing. He got the W, when he was supposed to. Mm-hmm. So, shout out to Team Pitbull. And, get back in the lab and just keep working hard, man.
Yeah. I thought it was a great fight. Exactly what I had said on the previous pod when we were previewing this fight. It was a fighter in Fierro that was going to be right in front of you, not going anywhere, and that's what we got in the fight.
Yeah, because on the weigh-in and just the press conferences and the other face-to-faces, you could tell that he wasn't scared. That's why I knew it was going to be a good fight, and he made it better than it was supposed to be. So that's why I guess, You know, Pitbull didn't get the knockout.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, too, it all matters on your opponents, too, you know, because, like I said, yeah, Fierro's going to be in front of him. Perfect stop for Pitbull, but at the same time, Fierro's a big dude.
Yeah.
And it showed in the ring. I mean, I got to go back and watch it on TV. I don't know how it reflected on you guys for TV, but live, I mean, you can see the size difference. It was visible. It was almost like a welterweight fighting a lightweight almost when you were watching it live. You can see the actual size difference.
Most definitely.
Because Pitbull came in, he looked fantastic. He was actually a little bit more composed than I expected. He wasn't throwing it like as wild as at the beginning.
Yeah.
But the size of the kid got to him, and at the end of the day, he had to let the hands go, right? And that's what we got. So we just got two Mexican warriors that just went at it. None of them went backwards. And that's what you got. None of them fell. None of them went down. None of them quit.
Spectacular fight.
Fantastic fight.
Fantastic fight. And like I said, good rounds for Pitbull, too. You know, you can't knock out everybody. And, you know, you just move on to the next one. Right. So, you know, again, shout out to Pitbull. Good performance. You know what I mean? Good for coming back from whatever you went through. And it was just good to see you out there, baby. Yeah,
I think it was one of those fights where they both took a win. Because Fierro, it was one of those profiles that maybe not a lot of people knew before. Oh, yeah. Now to watch him with Pitbull like that.
He made a name for himself.
He made a name for himself.
He made a name for himself.
Absolutely.
I said, that's like Pitbull fighting Tank. It did nothing but elevate him. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just going to be bigger and better from here on out.
Yep.
So, you know, don't get discouraged. Keep doing what y'all do. Yep. You know what I mean? We love y'all. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate the fights that y'all do. Yeah. I mean, y'all put y'all lives on the line when y'all get in that ring.
Yeah, like we said in a previous part, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. We're going to get back to real boxing where these warriors that you're used to seeing not losing, they're going to lose. They're going to lose a lot.
And they're going to slug it out.
Because it's top competition now. Top versus top. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some.
And us as fans, we want to see slugfest. Absolutely. We want to see people get dropped. We want to see people get stopped, and we want to see people get knocked. And that's what we're going to continue to get from these fighters because they want to give us what we want. You know what I mean? So, like I said, shout out to every fighter out there in the world.
Right.
Like, real
So when you give a performance like this, not let down to me. To me, it's more exactly. This is exactly what I want to see. 50-50. Oh, my goodness, who's taking this win? So it was a fantastic
fight. Definitely. And you live and you learn.
Right.
You know what I mean? Every fight, you learn something different. You know? So that's just boxing.
Yeah.
It's boxing.
Exactly.
It's boxing.
Yep, it's boxing.
So let's get on to that Fulton Figueroa.
Yeah, Fulton Figueroa. I mean, what a fight. Those two went at it, just like we said, high volume punching in Figueroa. Yeah. And Fulton being more of a veteran with the performances he's had previous to the first fight they had. Mm-hmm. You know, when you go with the Figueroa first fight, then you fight someone like Inoue, then you go back to this, you are a different fighter, and it showed.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Fulton was a different fighter in this fight.
Oh, yeah.
So, to me, I like how focused he stayed, even though the high volume of Figueroa was there. He was catching a lot, and he was composed, and I thought he was more effective punching landing from Fulton. So yeah, I had him winning too.
And it's funny because with this fight, a lot of people were expecting a knockout from one of the guys, but when you go in there with a person and you know them, it's hard to get that KO. Yeah, because they know them strategies, they know the moves that you're coming in with, those tactics. You know, so it's like you got to see them opportunities, take them, and if you get them and you can get them out, do that. But sometimes it's hard. Yeah, you know what I mean. So.
Yeah, I thought
it was a cool little fight.
Right, and I think that's what I had predicted. I predicted another 12-round fight. That's exactly what we got. You know, because when you go, like you said, when you go in there with somebody round 13, you already know each other. Yeah. So sometimes it is a little difficult to get somebody out when you already know each other that well. You know, and that's exactly what you got. Another 12-round performance where, I mean, it was a close fight. So shout out to both guys. They both, I thought another one just like Pitbull and Fierro. Yes, one took a win, one took a loss, but technically, I mean, it's not really a loss. It was a great performance.
Yeah, and the right man won.
Absolutely.
The right man won. The judges got it right.
Yeah.
So, you know, Fulton went in there and did his thing.
Right.
Put out a lot of shots just like Figueroa did, but he just was the man that came out with the victory, you know. Yeah. And shout out to Team Fulton. You know? So. Yeah,
exactly. Congratulations, Team Fulton. I mean, we were here, like we said, you know, for fight week. Part of the reason I said BTR is behind the ropes. One thing we saw behind the ropes on Friday, we saw Fulton how relaxed he was. He was riding around that scooter, you know, behind the scenes.
That was dope at the way.
Yeah, I mean, you see how relaxed he was coming into this fight. For you to be riding around the scooter before you weigh in, you're not tense.
And I said, then again, because he knows that fighter. You know, he fought him before. It wasn't nothing he didn't know to walk into like something crazy.
Yep.
You know, and I mean, the most thing you can do is probably walk into a knockout.
Exactly.
But like I said, you knowing that opponent and knowing what they put out. You know, I mean, what the name of the game is.
It was a veteran knowing what he was going to go in there, expecting nothing else. He looked relaxed, ready to go, and that's the performance you got. Congratulations, Team Fulton.
Fulton in the new.
Yeah, exactly, and the new, as he deserves. So congratulations.
Now, let's get into the moment we all been waiting for.
The reason why we came to this bad boy up here.
The reason why we here.
Exactly.
Benavidez Morrell. most off, take off everything.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Team Morrell.
Yeah.
Hell of a performance. Hell of a performance. Shout out to Team Benavidez.
Yeah.
Hell of a performance.
Yep.
Hell of a performance.
Yes.
Both men went out there, did their thing.
Mm-hmm.
To me, before this fight, I thought it was 50-50, but I was leaning towards Morrell, Morrell, because I know his movement and his boxing pedigree. But again, experience is all, you know, and David Benavidez had that. And, you know, he's showing us he's one of them guys. He's one of them top guys.
Yeah.
And, you know, hey, champion, man, keep going out there and doing what you do. You know what I mean? Like I said, you can't – we don't knock out everybody, but that performance was crazy. El Monstro, shout out, man.
Yeah. Congratulations, Team Monstro. I mean, that was amazing performance with both guys. Team Morrell, shout out to you guys too.
Yep.
I mean, you don't get this a lot when you see two young warriors like this at the point of their careers where they're at to face each other right now. That was amazing. That was amazing, and that's what we got.
I love that Benavidez. Like, hey man, I'm gonna take this shot. I'm gonna do my thing. I'm sure I can go out there and bang with the best. I want the best. I want the top guys. You know, I want Canelo. I want this. I want that. You know, but I mean, he gonna go out there and do his thing. You know what I mean? Now it's just take your time and just go out there and just take them out one by one. Yeah, you know what I mean, and do your thing.
This was one of those fights where, I mean, he took a risk where a lot of people didn't know the name. You know, me and you obviously know who Morrell is, but the average fan didn't know who Morrell was until this performance.
Most definitely.
And after seeing this performance, you see why someone like me says this is a risk. Yeah. You know, because Morrell is, you know, very high boxing IQ. There's the reason we had him winning it. Going into this fight.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing against Team Benavidez. It's just the footwork, you know, the foot placement, the composure, and you saw all this in the fight. It was back and forth, you know, moments where you thought Benavidez was taking over, then here comes Morrell, and vice versa. It was one of those fights, and that's why we had him probably winning.
Back and forth.
Yep.
But my only problem was my boy Morrell. You stood there and was taking some shots you shouldn't have took. You should have been moving and moving and moving and moving. But again, you know what you was doing in there. You know, and maybe you wanted to just test that strength to see what you can take. You know what I mean? Which any other fighter probably would have tried to do with a man like Benavidez. And, you know, that's a big guy right there.
But one thing, you know what, that we were talking about during the fight, and I will mention here, one thing that did stop Morrell from doing that was actually, and I'm one of the ones that I always would say Benavidez has to work on his footwork.
Yeah.
One thing that I was amazed with in this fight was what? His footwork.
Yeah.
One thing he was trapping him. He was trapping him.
He was trapping him. He had to keep jumping over and jumping over and jumping over.
Yeah.
And I was peeping that. I was like, hey, man, you trying to get him out of that corner. And, you know, you got to stay out the corner with guys like that because they can put you out. And like I said, both man, spectacular performances, back and forth, back and forth. Every time it got to the last 10 seconds, they were stowing blows. It was phenomenal.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And even shout out to the T-Mobile Arena. Like, hey, man, like, our seats were crazy.
Everything was amazing. You know, the fight week was amazing. You know, being at the weigh-ins at the MGM was amazing. Here at the T-Mobile. The performance, like we said, I mean, I was impressed with Team Benavidez and the footwork. I mean, they worked on the footwork, and this fight showed it.
Like
I said, set traps against someone like Morrell.
Performances from David Benavidez besides knocking everybody out. Right. Period. El Monstro, do your thing, baby.
To me,
do your thing. I'm still Team Morrell. I'm never gonna switch no sides. But I mean, I'm gonna give respect where respect is due. And hey, I ride with you, bro. Do your thing.
Yeah, to me, like, I gotta give credit when credit is due. You know, that's one thing that I was always saying he needed to work on, and to me, it showed in this fight. I was very impressed.
Even his defense was good.
Yeah, the defense, the footwork, he worked. He worked behind the scenes.
His output of punching was crazy too.
To me,
I see David Benavidez, man, climbing ladders. And hopefully, man, one day you can get that shot with the king. You know, because I think you deserve it. If you know what I'm saying, your resume keeps stacking.
That's all he needs to do. Keep improving like this. Like, to me, like I said, this fight is something you're not going to hear, but I mean, the footwork and the fact, like you said, the boxing IQ, he just wasn't relentless with the punches. He was selecting when to throw them and when to not throw them. He improved a lot.
Yeah.
Improved a lot in this fight.
It's crazy. Both men was getting cracked. So that was the best thing about it. So, hey, I was like, they was both hanging and banging in there. And that was, man, a hell of a performance.
Yeah, that was great.
You know, for us to start out 2025, this is our first fight going live. Couldn't ask for anything else. Shout out to Al Heyman. Shout out to PBC. Shout out to El Monstro, Team Benavidez. Shout out to Team Morrell. Shout out to the coaches, the families, everything, man.
Yeah, that was a fantastic show. From the bottom to the end, beginning to the end, a fantastic show. T-Mobile Arena, they held it down. This was a great show, guys. You guys got to come watch these shows more often. If not, make sure you guys are watching us because we got you.
And again, man, this is BTR Boxing and Boxing with Jeff. Please like and subscribe. Comment, man. We deserve all that. We love all that. We love interacting. You know, see what's cracking. And we'll be back with another one. But again, BTR Boxing with Jeff. Peace.
Right.